Alrighty, hey, and good evening, everybody. This is Pastor Sherman, and this is This Week in Prophecy. I hope everybody's doing well, and that you're all just enjoying life. This is the day the Lord has made. I will rejoice and be glad, and that's often quoted scripture. Hopefully, everybody's got their kids back to school, and everybody's just excited about it. The kids are just coming home with stories, going, "Mommy, Daddy." And that they're, hopefully not. It's only the couple here on the West Coast. It's only been a couple of days that kids have been back in school, but we hope that you guys are all having just a marvelous, marvelous time in the Lord. So, I'm gonna get the YouTube channel up real quick here, folks. So if you are watching us on YouTube, and we're getting a lot more people watching us on YouTube, so thank you so much. But if you are watching us on YouTube, just do me a favor, hit the subscribe button. Yeah, hit the subscribe button. Love for you to get in on the conversation, because that way, every time we do this broadcast, you will get updated every single time. We'd love to have you as a part of it. Amen. And if you don't want to get in on the conversation here on YouTube and our chat feature, just write to us at thisweekinprophecy@gmail.com. That's thisweekinprophecy@gmail.com. And let's what would a show be without Aaron Newton here? Aaron, how are you doing today, brother?
Hey, what's happening?
Oh, good. I thought I lost you there for a second.
It keeps pausing for a second there.
I noticed that we had like a little tape delay. So if I'll try to adjust here, and we'll just kind of work with it here. But yeah, I saw this little tape delay there we've never had before. Let's. So Aaron, how have things been going with you? I ask.
Good, just work. Working, trying to do God's work every day. That's about it.
Yeah. Well, awesome. Anything new going on at work? I'm going to bring up a subject here in just a couple of minutes. I think it's an answer to prayer, but anything else new going on at work?
No, not really.
No,
nothing new. Same old.
The same old, yeah. Well, your wife is back in work now, right? She come home with any stories yet?
Not really. Not really. We started doing worship at our church, and so they had a practice yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
No, that's about it.
So what's that like? So you guys are working on worship. I'll tell you some story about us too. I'm just saying about that too. So your new worship team, because many of you don't know, Aaron and I used to play together.
Yeah.
Yep. So he played drums for us, and even your wife was singing. One of the worship leaders, worship singers too. And so now you're with a new crew, and what's going on with that?
That's right. When we first met doing worship, actually, you played guitar, and I played the drums. And then, so right now we only have, we don't have any musicians except me, and so we've been doing it we just started, because before they were just playing music on the TV, and so Cecilia and two other girls stepped up, and so it's kind of like a karaoke thing. But it's good. It's real good. So as soon as we get somebody to play with us, somebody else, a guitar or a keyboard or something, then I'll play with them.
You know what? That's the word says, don't despise small beginnings, right? We're and it's funny because we've we've all been, anybody who's done worship for any length of time knows that it takes a while. Even when I played at a mega church for many years, and when I first got there, they had a big band. I mean, there's no doubt about it. They had a big band, but there was a time when we actually had to start our own band, and so we got one of the guys to play keyboard, and we got another guy to play drums, and eventually it just became this rockin' thing, So it's and it is what it is. So, which is good. I'm very excited about that. Well, congratulations.
Yeah, it's good. I love it. So I'm just kind of running the computer and the board, and Cecilia and the two other girls are singing along and like a karaoke style. But it's good. It's going good.
That's it. Well, I'm so excited about it. Well, great. Um, well, a lot of things going on in the world right now. I mean, a lot of cool stuff going on. Where over like the last week, and since I've been back in school, so I'm back at school now, and working with the kids and stuff like that, and I've been watching what's going on, kind of trying to stay as involved as I can in the world, what the world is doing, because um, as each and every day, it seems like we're watching the hand of God move in our neighborhoods. We're watching the hand of God move in our city. And have you noticed that? I mean, have you noticed that God is just moving in an amazing way? And I'm getting more and more excited about it. So, I mean, what are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, yeah, he's moving. Let's give a so in the city. Yeah, definitely. We talked about that last week. How people are just not wanting to come here anymore, and this is, it's Vegas. We know what that goes along with, and it just seems like the amount of people coming here is dropping. Um, as far as like just outside, I see more and more people on social media posting about Jesus, and also I think people are just starting to change, and there's so much going on in the world. But something I think where God is really moving, we talked about a dream a while ago where I saw a lawyer, and the lawyer was like um, the it person, I guess you could say. And I knew she was in or he was in New York or Chicago or something, and he was the one everybody wanted. This guy was like high powered lawyer, and then he was trying to convict somebody of something, and all of a sudden everything turned, and he was going to court. And when the judge gave him his sentence, his face was like, oh, no, no. And again, with the dreams and stuff, it's doesn't mean just because I saw a man doesn't mean it's a man. It's. I think it's kind of like the mysteries of God.
Mm-hmm.
Here's what is this mystery? What are you telling me? But
Yeah.
I saw the district attorney in New York, Letitia James, is now being indicted for. Oh my goodness! And
Yes, she is.
yeah, there was just something about that dream where it was like, this person was the top lawyer, and they just,
Hmm.
that was the person, the go-to person for anybody. But all of a
Hmm.
sudden, it changed, and now he was on trial. And
Yes.
anyway, so yeah, God is
Well,
moving.
it's
He's moving
so amazing that you had mentioned Letitia James. There's also a judge. His name is Mershon. Um, there was a guy who he's been writing about it, and gosh, where's that story at? Um, he was talking about this Judge Mershon, and he was saying, hey, guess what? That this guy, his name is Juan Mershon. It was a Breitbart story, as a matter of fact, and it was talking about this judge also, that they're going, guys, some of the stuff that's been going on here is just outlandish. And is there going to become a turning of the tables? We saw the same thing with Adam Schiff. Adam
yeah,
Schiff is the same thing. They're going, hey, this guy he's going to go on trial now. And the difference is, though, is that these are not righteous people, right? These are not righteous people that are saying, oh, gosh, Lord God, vindicate me, Lord. Vindicate me, Lord, because I am wrongfully accused. These are people who have wrongfully accused a righteous man, and now they got to pay the piper,
hmm
right? And they're not a billionaire, right? Can you imagine Adam Schiff having to foot his own, what do they call them? Legal expenses, or Letitia James footing her own legal expenses, or Juan Rashan. I don't care how rich these folks are. They don't have billions of dollars,
yeah,
because Trump was, when he was indicted, he had to put up almost $500 million, and yet he was able to do it, and it was a miracle. Did you notice it? It was like a miracle after a miracle after a miracle, because there's just no way. There's no way this guy can come up with $500 million, you know. And then, lo and behold, right?
Yeah, that's. I remember he got something. It was a lot of money that he had to pay for something, and then all of a sudden, the price of X or the stock like jumped through the roof, and then he was worth, another $4 billion after that happened. So yeah,
Yes. So
still,
God, and that's why you can tell that. I mean, yes. Now we've just seen in the last couple of weeks where these stories have come out about the president and these wrongful charges that have come against him, stuff like that. But at the time, it looked like, oh no, gosh, they're going to get this guy. Eventually, something's going to stick. They're going to get him. But no matter what happened, nothing stuck. He was able. There always something happened, and now he's. Somebody said something interesting. They said, for a long time he was the hunted, now he's the hunter, and people are going, oh my gosh, this is so very interesting spiritual thing that's going on right now with the country. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, those, like I said, those battles are being, they're being fought and they're being won. It's just amazing how, like, it's difficult to see what's happening spiritually, right? A lot of people, it's just to understand, and we think, as people on the earth, oh, these are coincidences, but they're not coincidences. There's
Mm-mm.
no such thing. But it's amazing to see these battles.
It is, but once you're in the middle of, oh, sorry about that, Aaron. I'm sorry, almost. But in the midst of all this stuff, though, here's the thing about it. When you're in the midst of all this stuff, you go, oh my gosh, how is this going to work its way out? But it's almost like Daniel, the book of Daniel and Daniel in the lion's den, or Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. And you're going, God, how are these guys going to get out of this? But
Yeah.
God, right? But God comes along, and he's able to loose the jaws of the lion. He's able to protect them when the flames are set even up higher, and people around him are being killed and stuff like that. It's just an amazing thing. Let's do this, Aaron. Let's get to it. Once again, I'm going to encourage you folks, if you're watching us on our YouTube channel, encourage you to get in on the conversation. We'd love for you to get in on the conversation. And if we don't see you right away, guys, don't worry about it. We will actually get to it, and we'd love to hear from you. So, Aaron, the Lord gave you a couple of visions that you shared, and let's see if we can see what the Lord speaks right now. Okay, go for it.
Okay. Okay, so here's the first one, and I think this kind of goes along with what we were talking about.
Mm-hmm.
It's from the 26th of August, 2023.
Mm-hmm.
My child was about to have surgery, and the doctor said to my lawyer, I have to pay the doctor $7,000 in cash extra on top of the medical bills. And I said, I remember, like, wow, I've been thinking, like, this is weird. And he said, yeah, this is the way it's always done, and it had to be in a see-through envelope.
Hmm.
And it was a short dream, but I mean, there was a lot to it, but it just speaking was very short. But it was like, here one of my kids has to have a life-saving surgery, and in order to save him, I actually had to pay the doctor $7,000 in cash on top of just the medical bills. It was like an extra for him, and it was. I thought that was like horrible. You're trying to extort me to get my, to save my child, but it had to be in a see-through envelope. And so, like, what do we see happening today? We saw a bunch of doctors lose their jobs. I think it was just a few days ago. I'd pull up the story, but
Yeah. So I'd never heard of that. What do you mean by that?
the doctors? I gotta find
Yeah.
the story. I should have had this
So
ready.
were they in America?
Yes.
So they were in America. I never heard of this story. Interesting.
Don't know if it was. Let's see, news. Uh, well, I'll find it and send it. I'm
Sure.
sorry, I should have had this
No,
one
no,
ready. I
good.
didn't even.
So what was the gist of it, though? So a bunch of doctors.
Basically, he was getting paid on top of. He was extorting me
Yeah.
for an extra $7,000 in cash on top of just the medical bills
Mm-hmm.
to save my child,
Mm-hmm.
and it had to be in an envelope that had like a see-through side, like those plastic envelopes you get with bills in it, and you can see inside of it because of the
Okay.
paper. They print all the address on the paper and stuff. And I was like, I think we're gonna find a lot of things wrong with the medical system right now,
Okay.
and this is why, because of money. Like, I think we saw stories after COVID that the hospitals were getting paid
Mm-hmm.
per COVID patient, and so if
Sure.
somebody got shot and they died from their gunshot wound, but they had COVID, so they still get paid.
Yes.
Um, I, basically, it was like they were extorting us, the
Mm-hmm.
people who needed the work. Um,
Y-
okay,
And
here it is.
go for it.
Oh, sorry. I got it's Office of Public Affairs National Healthcare Fraud Takedown results in 324 defendants charged with connection over 14.6 billion in alleged fraud.
Wow.
United States Department of Justice, and these were
Wow.
doctors, administrators, not just
Not just
people.
doctors.
It was doctors. It was everybody in the system. It
Mm-hmm.
was. I saw the story, and I wish I would have saved it for this. I don't want to waste time, but yeah,
Yeah.
this
So
is
tell me about
kind
this. So they were committing fraud, overbilling. What were they doing? What is it?
of. Let's see. So it's connection 14 and fraud. So basically, they were defrauding the healthcare system, Medicaid, Medicare.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but it was 324 defendants, including 96 doctors, nurse practitioners, pharmacists, and other licensed medical professionals in over 50 states,
Wow.
across the United States for about $14 billion, $14.5 billion. Let's see, return on investment. The government seized over $245 million in cash, luxury
Oh my.
vehicles, cryptocurrency, and other assets as part of a
Oh my
coordinated.
gosh.
Yeah, this is a big thing. You know what? Let me send it to you.
This is big. Yeah. Please do.
Yeah, yeah.
This is big. So and this really this isn't just like, oh gosh, there was a guy overbilled me for a couple of Tic Tacs or some aspirin or something like this. This was a nationwide event that happened, and it was a sweep. So this had to have started a long time ago. Thank you. This had to start a long time ago. 14.6. Okay, I just got this from you.
Yeah, $14.6 billion. Not 14 million, 14 billion.
That's pretty good. Yeah, and so they found a bunch of cash. Oh gosh.
Yeah.
Office of Public Affairs.
Wow.
Yeah, for immediate release. Yeah, so this just happened though. So this came out a little while ago. So June, July, August, and I don't recall seeing this on the news.
June 30th. No.
Yeah, I didn't see this on the news at all. I wonder why. I wonder why we didn't see this on the news.
Right?
Yeah, Justice Department today announced the result of a 2025 National Health Care Fund fraud takedown, which resulted in criminal charges against these defendants. Wow.
It's
12 state
that
journey. That's amazing. Wow. And so I wonder if this was part of the Make America Healthy Again initiative,
Well,
or was it Pam Bondi saying, "Hey, guess what?"
Yeah, it was Pam Bondi.
Yeah.
This is a Pam Bondi thing, but the fact that you watch, there's four news stations everybody watches. What and I was like today, I look every day and I look at like Fox News, and I
Mm-hmm.
I've always, I don't really watch the other stations anymore because I just get irritated. But I used to watch, CNN, MSNBC, and Fox, and basically take the two
Mm-hmm.
pieces, what this person's saying, this person say, and you can make the real story out of the two sides.
Mm-hmm.
But today, like I was looking at Fox News, and all I saw was the normal. There was a murder, there was this, there was this, there was this, but they don't talk about things like this. This is a big deal.
Yeah,
This is a really big deal.
this
And
is
like
pretty big
that
deal.
that dream, the fact that he was trying to extort me for more money, but it had to be in a see-through envelope. And I wonder if that see-through envelope means that you can't hide it. You can't hide it from God. You can't hide what you've been doing to his people.
Mm-hmm.
Um, why it had to be in a see-through envelope, or part of it was see-through, like the glass envelope,
Mm-hmm.
um, was, it's still a mystery. But I really believe it has to do with like the transparency of it all. It's going to be
Oh,
shown.
so maybe this, because Aaron, here's the interesting thing about when people were doing corrupt things, that's what they would do. They would either give you a stack of bills, right? A stack of bills, and but if they were really corrupt guys, they want to see the money. So it's going to have the envelope is a see-through envelope, but I think its significance corruption. There is
Yeah.
corruption here, and that's just kind of maybe a metaphor to saying, hey, guess what? This is not like above the board. This is not above board. This is corruption.
Yeah.
Um, wow. Well, I would say this is pretty corrupt.
Yeah. I think you just can't hide anything from God. He
No,
sees
no.
everything. And
Yeah.
so the fact that things are turning around,
Hmm.
just like I know the big story is DC and what's happening there.
Hmm.
And Democrats are angry. They don't want their stronghold taken over. And
We had a conversation about this on an earlier show, and we were talking about that these people actually have the nerve to be upset that somebody's saying something about it,
mhm.
and what the nerve of these people that they would actually say have any objection. This is our America is a Christian nation, right? Would you agree? I would think everybody would agree. No matter how badly things are gone or how bad we've gone down the road, America is still a Christian nation. It's still written on our money. Okay, for somebody to be the mayor of the capital of our Christian nation, to allow something like this to happen, this is like somebody coming up to you and spitting right in your face. But it goes further than that. She said something about it, like, I can't believe you would do this. Are you out of your mind, lady? This isn't this isn't somewhere Idaho or something like this, or some no-name town down in, Mississippi or something. This is the seat of the power of our government, and you
Mhm.
allowed this to happen in the capital of our country. You're lucky people don't have go crazy on you, and so I know I get a little animated about this, but that's how Democrats have gotten, or these, I shouldn't say Democrats, that's how people who don't believe in our country are getting. And so for these people to steal, um, gosh, this fraud amount, this is ridiculous. $14.6 billion. This is like, oh my gosh, I cannot believe you people would do this. I mean, this is more than USAID.
So, do you remember? Oh gosh, I don't know how long ago we talked about this. How oh, we had to have this 4 years of Joe Biden, right?
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm,
Because if not, it just would have continued on, and people's hearts had to get ready for what was about to be exposed. I think if we didn't go through this 4 years of the way it was, uh, that people wouldn't really accept the things that they're finding. USAID, this, the Medicare fraud. People would be like, nah, they would never do that, whatever it is. But since we saw 4 years of just horrible decisions, nothing good come from them. And now we see this, and it's like, okay, we knew that things were going to be exposed in the summertime, and here they are being exposed. And you know, it's shocking, but then on the other hand, you're like, well, I knew God was going to do something. Just didn't know it was going to be this big.
Didn't know it was going to be this big. It's like, oh my. And nobody's written a movie about this yet. There's going to be a movie. More than a book. It's going to be a movie that's going to be out. They're going to probably call the movie Russia Hoax, or they'll call it Russia, 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 or something like that, right?
I think it's going to be like later, let's say 10 years from the road, somebody will make a movie. Like yesterday, I watched a documentary of the War of 1812, and
Okay.
They call it the Forgotten War,
Forgotten
right?
War.
Because because but in that war, almost all of DC except for the post office, you know, was burnt down. We all think about just the White House was burned by the British in the War of 1812 as a because we burnt their Parliament building, but almost all of DC government buildings now, not people's houses and hotels and stuff, but all the government buildings were burnt except for the post office. And but people don't really think about that. I think this is going to be way bigger than that, as far as all the things we're going to see. There will be documentaries, movies, like, oh, I'm sure.
Positive. I'm almost positive, Aaron, is that and I've heard people talk about this already, and they've been writing books already. And I just saw the latest one. They were talking about this whole thing with Hillary Clinton and Barack Obama, and this Judge Merchan guy. We mentioned this guy before. That they're already writing a book about this. But the way things are now, somebody's going to write a movie, and it's going to come out really quicker. It's going to come out so quick that because they wanted to make it before they have the midterms. And so here's what I'm thinking is going to happen. And it's just my humble opinion, is that they're going to use the AI. They're going to use all of the tools that they can to get it out as quick as possible. I can imagine one of the Wayans brothers playing Barack Obama. I could imagine, them having all kinds of people jumping to become part of this whole scene, because it is so egregious, it is so big but nobody knows about it. Because you can imagine, Aaron. Here's the thing about it: nobody really knows how bad this is yet, because the mainstream media has not put it out there yet. Mainstream media has not said a word about it. They're because if they did, it's not like Jimmy Kimmel, all those guys. They haven't said one word about it. Here's the deal: the reason why people hate Donald Trump, and I talked about this earlier, they hate Donald Trump because of a lie. It was started with Barack Obama, basically, and I'm going by the Russia hoax thing, okay, and the whole saga that the can of worms that's been opened up right now, and they started a lie. Barack Obama started a lie. He got Comey, he got CIA, he got the FBI, he got DOJ to all jump into this. Hillary Clinton jumped into this. Everybody, and the media, they all jumped into this lie to keep this guy in office, or keep this guy out of office. Okay, didn't work. So they continued that lie for another 4 years. Okay, so his entire presidency, they kept this lie to neuter the guy in his first term in office. And then they said, this guy might try to get in office again. Let's try to get this guy completely out of office. So we're going to rough him up so that people, they won't vote for this guy. And they got the judges, men who swore on a Bible to uphold the law. They found people who would lie and try to rough up Donald Trump, and it still didn't work. And the guy got shot at, right? He got shot at, tried to be assassinated. They tried to kill him. They tried to take all of his money from him. None of it worked. Do you think somebody's not thinking, well, we should make a movie about this? We should make this. because the iron is hot right now. If that iron was not hot right now, it ain't got to get any hotter than this, man. Um, Go for
Well,
it.
I'll just say this: I think they're waiting for the rest of the story to play out and then make the movie because this is nothing. This is just the beginning. Like
There's more.
we're not even at the end of the beginning yet. We're
Oh
still
my gosh, the
we're
guy
just
almost got it. He got his ear shot off. Are you kidding me?
I don't think I think this is I think these next 4 years, man, this is just the beginning of the beginning. you
Oh,
know?
oh, let me add something else to this, okay? China has been, about, beating their chest that they're going to redo the Belt and Road thing and everything else. I just saw this report that China's that whole initiative, it's all petering out. All that stuff, they still want to do it, but it's petering out. They've been buying up everybody's this. Everybody owes them money, and everybody's going, yeah, whatever. We don't want nothing to do with you. We love America because Trump's back in office. This is such a divine thing. I can't imagine anybody going, I think I'll wait for another 10 years to watch what else goes. No way. They'll just write a sequel. I can see it. But anyways, yeah, go
their
for it.
economy is going to fail. That's pretty much what. Anyways, I think that's what's happening. Their economy.
Could happen.
It's all a farce, right? You have a lot of
Yes.
rich people and stuff, but they make those rich people buy these things,
Mhm.
and then so they have all these cities that they built that are like these beautiful cities, but nobody lives in. It's all
Yeah.
fake.
Sure.
It's all a
Yeah.
farce. So
Well, I just heard something. I know I'm interrupting you. It's just so crazy. The Bible talks about that God is going to, the things that God does are going to dumbfound everybody. That that Satan doesn't really have doesn't have a chance because God is so overwhelming. And God sets up things. So so now this latest thing I just saw today. I've really not paid any attention to any kind of political stuff in at least 2 weeks. The last 2 weeks, I've been getting really busy. But I just happened to see this recently. Remember over the last 4 or 5 years that they tried to set up the whole Green New Deal. Remember that?
yeah,
And then Biden tried to get all these charging stations set up, billions of dollars trying to set, and then he built like two charging stations. Guess what Trump is doing now? He is
Repealing
trying. They're trying to get as many charging stations built now as they can. After all of this stuff, Biden couldn't do it. Here's the thing about Trump. If Trump says we're going to start building charging stations, guess how many will probably get built every week? Like 100, 1,000 a week. And within like 2 weeks, we'll have thousands of these things all over the place. I don't think that this is God. I think this is God's hand moving in a way that is just crazy. So, anyways,
well,
go for it. Good.
I think about this. It's not, with the charging stations and these cars and stuff like that. It's not meant to replace. Like it was never meant to replace fossil fuels, right? Because
Yes, true.
they wanted to do it, but yet you can never replace it. I was just a scam to steal our money. I really
Yes.
believe,
you're
but
right.
in order to help, right? I saw this really great thing about the scientist was talking about fossil fuels and stuff, and they're saying that the CO2 emissions and the carbon dioxide is so high, but you can see through samples in the dirt that when the dinosaurs were living, it was 1,000 times more, right? But it's not humans killing the planet. It's just the planet goes through changes, it evolves and changes, just like
Sure.
it's done for however long when the dinosaurs roamed the earth. But I think it is a good supplement because fossil fuels are a resource that however much fossil fuels in the earth one day will expire,
Sure.
will run out or whatever. So it's actually better to keep the fossil fuels going and to supplement it with the you know charging electrical stations and solar panels on the house. but meant to be the entire system is ridiculous.
Don't
There's no
see.
way it would
Yeah,
hold it.
I don't think
Not as
so.
as we advance and more people come on the earth and stuff. So
Yeah. Well, this is going to be amazing. The next couple of years are going to be pretty amazing. Um, I noticed we've got some folks that are watching us on our YouTube channel. Thank you, folks, for being a part of the broadcast right now. We'll try to get to you as quick as we can. If you have any questions, go ahead and let us know. We'd love to get. We'd love to answer any questions you might have, and we will. And I'm looking over there every couple of seconds here just to see if you have any questions. In fact, but we do see you guys. We do see you over there. Don't fear not. We'll try to get to you as quick as we can. Aaron, let's because we. I don't want to waste. I don't want to spend too much time
don't
talking
waste
about
a
fossil
second.
fuels. Let's get on to the. You had a vision from November. Go for it.
Okay. Let me. I'm sorry. Let's. I gotta get back to where I was. I got all on this
Mm,
doctor thing.
I
Let's see. So let's see. Oh yeah, this one was really weird. It was very long and detailed, and again, I think we're going back to that whole mysteries of God. I think it's going to play out, but maybe little pieces we've seen. So this is November 5th of 2023. I was in Mexico and I was trying to get home from a work trip. I wasn't sure really why I was there, but I was just trying to get home and I couldn't get my stuff gathered. It was one of those things where like you ever where you're trying to walk and you can't move, or I'm trying to put my stuff in the suitcase and it just kept falling out. I can't explain it. It was just I couldn't get my things gathered. So everything was a mess and I was in a building that looked like a really old school, kind of almost like an adobe looking building, like from New Mexico or something. Um, and I know this school was filled with young men and women between 20 and 30. And they were coming in, they were going to classes, like they were not learning English, but they were there living at the school to learn something. Then there was a lady who was a teacher there, and I met her, and we just like connected, like the spirits spoke. I guess you could say the spirits were the same. And it wasn't anything more than just, wow, she was just a really kind of nice person. So I talked to her once and then I couldn't find her again. She just kind of disappeared. And I remember asking, I had to catch a train to get on the train, then take the train to the airport. I asked my friends that were there with me, hey, what time does the train come? And they said, you just got to go there and wait for it. It's no time schedule. You just sit at the train station till the train comes, kind of thing. So but it's locked up right now. And I remember seeing it. It had a fence all around it and like a chain and a bolt, a lock. And but inside, I'm frustrated. Like I gotta catch my plane home. I gotta get out of here. I gotta get out of here. And then I'm standing in another building. It's like a compound of buildings. Um, that kind of old Adobe style. Um, it looked like Mexico, maybe from the 1800s, I guess you could say. And then I'm guessing it was a church. I had to go and look in these rooms, and there was this dog. It was on a like laying on a chair, and I thought it was dead. And when I went over and I put my hand on it to like as you pray for somebody, and it got up and left, and I remember thinking, "Oh, you're gonna bark at me? You're gonna do something? You just came back from the dead, I guess you could say." But no, it just went outside. It didn't bark or anything. Anyways, when I got up, I went outside. The door was shut. I could feel in this place where I was at in Mexico, it was just darkness. It was thick. You could feel it. Um, and I knew that if I looked in the window to look outside, I knew that I would see something looking behind me, looking at me. So I didn't want to look. And in the dream, I had chills all on the right side of my body, and it was. I just knew something was standing next to me. I couldn't see it, but I refused to look out of the window and look outside because I knew I would see the reflection of what was standing next to me. And so then I woke up. So with that, like the feeling of darkness was overwhelming. It was
Mm-hmm.
very I can't explain it. It was thick, and it just kind of was all around you. I,
Yeah.
I'll, I'll tell you a quick story that kind of
Um,
how to explain this. When I was in the army and I was stationed in Fort Sill, we lived in an old, um, a really old hospital that was our barracks, and we're talking like 1800s, I think. And
wow.
that building was actually on unsolved mysteries because people would stay there and they would hear things and things would happen. And like
Mm.
they had these big balconies on the back, and they would sit out there and they would hear like the cavalry bugle, and they were chasing the Native Americans or whatever. I don't know, whatever. But um, the morgue part of this hospital, is where we kept all our supplies. And I had to go in there one time, and there was this girl that was on watch with me, and she's like, we went in there to get some stuff for some new people, and she shut the door, and it was pitch black. And as soon as the door shut,
Wow.
I just felt like faces all around my body, like all around me, just looking at me, and I'm like freaked out.
Oh, yeah. Freaked
Yeah,
out. Sure. Yeah, sure. I get
like,
that. Yeah.
what are you doing? And she opened the door, and she was like, she went running upstairs. She was freaked out too. But
She's freaked out too. Yeah, sure. Gosh.
anyways, it was like the same feeling. Like it was just thick and like it was in the air. But it
Yeah.
was all, I knew that we were in this Mexican. I don't know exactly where I was in Mexico, but
Hmm.
the darkness was everywhere.
You know, er, I'm thinking about Mexico right now because Mexico has they've been a part of America for since America has been a part of America, and over the number of like the last couple of generations, they've been taken over by cartels, by and stuff we don't even know about. But we know about the cartels. We know about that kind of thing. We know about some corrupt leadership. But recently, the our government has said, "Look, we are going to go into your country, and because you guys are affecting us now. You're not just affecting us, but matter of fact, at one point, I think our DEA or drug enforcement folks, they said that they just carted away 100 some odd billion doses. Oh no, 100 some odd million doses of fentanyl
Mm-hmm.
that would kill about 116 billion people. Or 1.6 billion people. I think it's 1.6. Don't quote me on this though. So about a week ago, the Trump administration says, "Hey, we're going to go into your country, guys. We're gonna eradicate all these drug cartel people." And at first they were kind of going, "Hey, no, you're not doing it." But now they changed their tune. They go, "Okay, we accept your help. You guys just can't come in here with boots on the ground. Like you can't invade us." It's like America wants to invade Mexico. I mean, really? We got our own problems here, right? We don't want to invade you. We just don't want any more of your crap here in America. Do you think the darkness that you're seeing as a result of Mexico has anything to do with the drugs, the cartels, the corruption that we know of in America, that from our standpoint?
I do believe that. I do believe that's true. I saw this documentary where they were finding tunnels under the border, and I don't know if it was before the wall or not. I think it was
Mm-hmm.
before the wall was up, but they found all these houses in Arizona and Texas and stuff that the cartels were digging tunnels up. And one of these houses they had went into, and they were showing the house, and then they opened a room, and inside the room was an altar to Satan.
Oh,
And it was like the lady was explaining, yeah, they worship Satan and this is their altar. And then also there was like a candle with a saint of drug there was like a patron saint of cartel members. I mean, it's like, this is crazy. Yeah. And
so say
but
that
she
again. So they had an altar to Satan, and then they had a patron saint to the cartels.
Yes.
What do you mean by that? What does that mean?
I
Do they have
I have no
saint?
clue.
Saint El Chapo or something like that. Is that what you're
I don't
saying?
know. Let me.
That's
what it
the
was.
Satron
That's
paint, the patron saint
patron.
El Chapo. Oh my,
Yeah, that was crazy. But the altar,
yeah,
like it was just a straight up altar to Satan. It was.
yeah,
But and they're like, these are what these people do. This is not uncommon to see these in these
okay,
places that we take over.
yeah.
And so, yeah,
Well,
is
don't
it
the
trying? Was it trying to invade from there? Yes.
oh? So let me ask you a question. I don't expect you to know this, but maybe you do. What is the Day of the Dead for Mexico? And it doesn't sound to me like it's a Christian festival, but they have a Day of the Dead where they've got the skulls and they dress around. It's like Mardi Gras with skulls all over the place. What do you know what that
Sure.
is?
Yes. So it's a day that they it's like worshiping of the ancestors kind of thing. It's oh gosh, I
Well,
can't remember.
you don't have to know the whole
That's what
thing,
it
but
is.
yeah,
That's what it
that's
is.
yeah. So I can get reverencing your parents. I don't know. I don't even claim to know. Okay, it's been going on long before. I don't. It's higher than my pay grade at this point. And my study, of course, because I study the Bible and I don't study these kind of things. I don't. I'm not going to look at this thing. It's patron
Oh, you got to look
Saint
at it.
El
You got to look
Chapo.
at it. His
I know.
his name is his name is Jesus Malaverde.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
I believe
Yeah.
you.
Yeah.
It's maybe later I will look this guy up because this is crazy. But
It is
the
crazy.
but the darkness in Mexico has to have roots. I mean, deep roots, because a lot of the stuff that they talk about is pagan stuff. Yes, there were Catholic roots too. There are Catholic influences because the Catholics came down there and tried to, evangelize them, and yet there was a pagan influence that had been there many many years, and I would assume it is not gone. And maybe that's something we in America have never even thought about. That. Go ahead, your thoughts.
Well, with that, we talked about this a while ago in oh gosh, I don't want to say Leviticus. I'm not exactly sure,
Mm-hmm.
but God removed the Israelites, and then He's going to bring them back. But He's going to cleanse the land in in Mexico, right, and down in the Yucatan and stuff. There was a lot of blood sacrifice in
Mm-hmm.
these humongous temples
Big
and
temples, sure.
these Aztec cities, the
Mm-hmm.
Mayans. They were big on the blood sacrifice,
Yes.
worshiping the. I can't remember which exactly temple it is, but there's a snake that runs down the side. And
Mm-hmm.
on the equinox day of the summer solstice, you see the snake. There's a shadow, and the way that the building is made, it looks like the snake is going down the steps. And
Mm.
they dig up all these. They've been digging up artifacts where um, lots of serpents with the mouth open and the fangs out. A lot of this type of thing in that South American or the southern Mexico, down in Panama, stuff like that. That kind of culture was there for a
Yes.
long time. Now the land was corrupt, right? In the
Yeah.
Bible, it says that the land is corrupt by the deeds of the people living on there.
Sure.
And so the land has to be cleansed. Now,
Mm.
did that happen after all this blood sacrifice and worshiping the sun and all that stuff? Probably not. So
No, no, no. Definitely not.
maybe their intention was to spread the gospel, but the lure of gold and the riches of the South Americans, you know, maybe that corrupt land just corrupted them as well. I know that there was good people, there was good, lots of good Christian or Catholic Christian people that did try to spread the gospel, but
Sure.
that it has to be cleansed. It you
Yeah.
can't just move into a land that's corrupted, that's been corrupted by the people. The God specifically says this in the
Oh
Bible.
my gosh. So Aaron, it's funny, and now I'm thinking about this. What just happened over the last 4 years? Over the last 4 years, we had 20 million people coming from we didn't have them coming from America into a pagan land. We had pagans coming into America.
Yeah.
We didn't have a bunch of Christians coming in from Guatemala. You didn't have, you know what I mean? These were people who were from that corrupt land coming up to America now, and
Mm.
and influencing our land, and they were brought here for an unrighteous cause. They were
Mm-hmm.
just, America is a Christian nation. I mean, I know we talk about this a lot, but America is a Christian nation founded by Christians to expand Christianity, and we purposefully, I shouldn't say we, a group of people purposefully allowed satanic, pagan, cultured people to come into our land. And I don't think anybody's even thought about that or even addressed that. Or maybe I have I missed something? Because I just thought about it just now.
Well, I mean, it's all a spiritual battle. Think about where you and I live, right?
Mm-hmm.
This is not the most, sanctified city in America. It is a
True.
difficult place. Now, there's good people all over, and they're trying to spread the gospel, and they're lights. But the basic the land and the people living on it were corrupted, right? So you had a corrupt. Remember the vision I told you where the stream of colors was going by, and the men in the white robes would stick their arm and the stream would stop, and then I saw Joe Biden, Kamala Harris, and somebody else standing there. Basically, God was making every single thing that man did just fail, by
Mm-hmm.
because that's what we saw. But yeah, this was their minions, right? This was their army. I don't know,
Yeah,
army,
sure.
whatever you want to call it. But yeah, from corrupted places all over the world. Haiti
Yeah,
was a big one.
Haiti.
Um, you
Especially
know,
Haiti is a huge one because they gave their country over. They made a proclamation saying, "Hey, we are going to give our country over to this." But the
yeah,
vast majority of the people who came here were from Latin and South America that have come here. I mean, they had trains of people coming here, train loads of people. They'd get on the top of trains, and there's like this thing coming up to us. 1,300, 14, couple of thousand people at a time were coming up to our nation, and nobody said, "Hey guys, guess what? We need to continue to try to." Yes, we want those folks out of the country, but we're saying, but here's the thing about it, Aaron. I'm just thinking about this now, and the Lord's just giving me this stuff right now. We're not thinking, "Hey, guess what? We've been invaded by a pagan nation." We're thinking, hey, let's just get rid of the bad folks. Wait a minute, guys, paganism is paganism. You wouldn't say, let's let a bunch of Satanists into our country and guys, we'll just keep the ones who go out and kill people. No, you say, what are we going to do? What are we going to do about this as a nation? We can't just allow this to stay here because it will manifest itself at some point, don't you think?
that's exactly now. Okay, so we were talking about something a while ago about this generation, right? You had said about the generation being groomed for the Antichrist,
Mm-hmm.
and I really like just kind of meditated on that and prayed, and I know that generation that we see is a very small part of this society. Like
Mm-hmm.
let's just look at it as in city sizes: New York, Seattle, Los Angeles, San Francisco, maybe Denver. This is like their little hubs, but the
Mm-hmm.
majority of the people don't want this. Think about Germany in 1943. Now
Mm-hmm.
that was an entire country
Yeah.
that was seduced by Satan, welcoming the grooming us an entire nation for the
Mm-hmm.
entrance of the Antichrist.
Sure.
Now, it spread almost, it almost engulfed, it did engulf the whole world in war, but, Germany engulfed most of Europe, Africa, in war, and then was pushed back just like what we're seeing today with these people coming in. It's the same thing. Now, I one more thing.
Oh
I
my
saw
gosh.
another documentary, and this man, he was in a, he wouldn't reveal his face, and basically the guy was asking him these questions, and he's talking about astral projecting, he's talking about
Mm-hmm.
really dark things that he is able to do because he is in this society of people, which he wouldn't mention the names and stuff. Obviously, it's like Baal worship. These are like the Baal worshipers. They've never went away. We thought that Baal worship was eradicated in Israel with Elisha and the prophets of Baal. No, or Rome when in 460 when uh, gosh, I can't think of his name right now. The first Christian Caesar of Rome, when he said, "Okay, we're turning all these pagan temples into churches." Do you think those men really gave up that pagan worship? No. Now they hid it under this guise of saints and this and that and whatever it was. But the point is that this has never gone away. It just went into hiding. It's uh, like a bloodline that went into hiding. I saw a really good thing about it. Anyways, this man was talking and he's telling about these things, but what he said was, it's all about love. This is love, love for the people, love, love. And I'm like, you know, you're so full of it. It's not about love. This is darkness, and you're trying to make people think that it's about love, just like these other people. Oh, we should let them stay here because we should be kind to people. And you have the groups like we talked about, churches like helping these people come across the border because it's about love and feeding people and taking care of people, but you're letting the darkness in and
Yes.
and
Yes.
disguising it as love and light.
Yes.
It's
I,
so dark.
I, I don't
People don't
think
see
they
it.
see it. I don't think these quote unquote Christian organizations, because their job is to try. They think that they're going to change these people. I'm going to let. If they want to be changed, guess what? They're not going to come up here like this. They illegally came into this country. They broke the laws, and you're going, oh, but you're all right. We'll assimilate you. And well, guys, they didn't come here to be assimilated. Most of these folks, and I keep hearing about this, is that, and maybe you told me about this, is that some of these folks say, we're not going to learn your language. This is our country. We're taking it back. And it's like, oh my gosh. And what are we doing as a nation? I want everybody to understand this, guys, that we are not preaching hate. Okay, we are not preaching hate at all. Okay, we do not hate people who are looking for a better way of life or anything like that. We're speaking about spiritual forces that are at work doing things under the guise of humanitarianism and sneaking in the back door and potentially, I'm going to go out on a limb, bringing that pagan lifestyle, that pagan dynamism, that pagan culture to America, a land that our national motto is "In God We Trust," right? These folks are not coming up here going, "Yes, we want that. Let's throw the flag." As a matter of fact, they did the exact opposite. They came up with their flag saying, "This is Mexico." And they've got their flag has got something. It is not the red, white, and blue. In God we trust. They're burning our flag. They're flaunting it in our face. This is a spiritual battle, folks, that we need to take very, very seriously.
Yeah, whether they know it or not, they're bringing in this dark spirit. Like, whether they're just pawns and they don't really know, and they thought, well, I'm going to come here and there's money growing on trees and we'll be, whatever it is, it's
Mm-hmm.
still a spiritual battle. This battle has never, it's not ended. The
Yeah.
land was corrupt. We
Mm-hmm.
separated ourselves to become a light, but then it was opened up and the floodgates opened. Man,
Oh gosh.
the spiritual world is just as prevalent, as ours. It's tangible. You could feel it. It is here, but a lot of people just can't see it with their eyes. They
Yeah.
have a veil. All they're worried about is my doctrine and this and that. They're not worried about, like, let's see the spiritual is a part of every Christian's life,
It is.
and you cannot push it away for intelligence. it's
No, you
it's a
can't. You
part of
can't.
you have to have it in your teaching. And I
Mm.
saw a really great show today
Mm.
my wife had sent me, and it was about a man he does deliverance, and I think somebody else posted it on our the thread for our church, and man, he was talking about how people are not just possessed but oppressed, and the oppression part was we let them in, and deliverance has to be taught
Yes,
about in the church. It
it
has to be
does.
practiced and taught, because there's
Mm,
no, why we're just missing a key part of the Christian
mm,
life that's
yes.
talked about in the Bible. I mean, they were baptized, and then the demons were cast out. They were filled with the Holy Spirit, like.
Mm,
But after a time, our pride and our pride will take over, and let these open doors to let these things back in, or
wow.
however he
This
said it. It was a
this
really good.
This is good. Aaron, we don't have any more time to go anymore. We got to go into this some more next time we talk. This is big. And it's something I don't believe anybody's even tapped into. I've not heard anybody speak about this before, but it's definitely something we need to pray about. Okay. Aaron, we'll talk to you again next week, and we'll continue this conversation offline. If you're watching us on our YouTube channel, love to stay on and continue this conversation. Aaron, we'll talk to you a little later, okay?
Yes. Oh my goodness. I'm
Uh,
sorry. I was
I
reading the
know.
chat like you were talking. And we were talking about Constantine. I'll tell you later. Okay.
Okay. All right, brother. We'll talk to you later. Bye bye. Hey, and folks, this is big. This is huge. And once again, if you've got any more you'd like to talk to us about, just write to us at This Week in Prophecy, This Week in Prophecy. Love to talk to you a little bit more about it and what God is going to do in our nation. This has been Pastor Sherman Ray for This Week in Prophecy. Once again, you guys have a beautiful day in the Lord. We'll see you next week for more of This Week in Prophecy. You take it easy. Bye-bye.